another unboxing video today. It's more of a Browning Maruku Winchester video than it is an unboxing video. I'm extremely pleased to show this gun as well because I've been loaned it by an individual, and I've got his name here, Gary Diamond. It was loaned to me by his friend, and basically I said I would put his name in it because if it wasn't for Gary bringing this gun into the UK, we wouldn't be able to show it to you today. Now, there's going to be a few people that watch these videos that look at this box that think they know what's in the box. You should never assume anything because it is only a box. It could be anything in this box, but what we've got in this box is very special. And again, it's quite easy because in the title of the YouTube video, we will tell you what this gun is. But you need to look at each and every gun, which is what we're trying to do. Now, what we've got in the box here is we've got a Winchester 101 Pigeon Presentation Grade. Now, as I've said to you in past videos, I'm not an expert. I'm literally just trying to show you what we've got here, and I'm extremely pleased to show you this gun because in relative terms, compared to a Maruku President, if you were looking on a scale of 1 to 10, this is further up the scale than a Winchester and a Maruku President. So, let's open the box up, let's get a few pictures and let's have a look and see what's in the box. So, I will open it up. Now, with the Winchester grading system and the serial number system, there is every bit as much confusion and probably more confusion than Maruku. But as I keep saying, the Browning, the Maruku and the Winchester, it doesn't matter what name is on the side of it, the engraving does all the talking. So let's open it up, and if you could just show the people inside the box of this one, Paul. Now, I have emailed and asked a guy, why is this in a Grand European box? Now, apparently, what Winchester did is you could have this gun in two grades. You could have it in a pigeon grade, which this one is marked and we will show you, and you can have it in a Grand European grade, and I will explain to you the differences between the two of them. I was also advised that it's quite a bit to do with the vintage of the gun. Again, we'll show you some markings to see that this was potentially towards the end of the Winchester 101 production run. So I'll get it out of the box and I will put it together. I'll put that there, I'll put that there, and we'll get rid of the box and we'll start talking a little bit about the gun. Now, what I've said from earlier videos, Paul, when the guns come into the UK, they have to be proofed in the UK to meet UK rules of proof. The Americans have not got a proofing system like we have. They've got a SAMI system, but they haven't got proof houses. So, this gun, Paul, this gun has been bought into the UK privately by a private individual. Therefore, it's not been marked in the standard places, which would be here on the left of the action. If it's not marked on the left-hand side of the barrels, it can generally be proofed on the flats or the rounds of the barrel. Okay, this is the round, this is the flat. If it hasn't been done one of those two, it will also be done on the right-hand side of the gun. As I say, this gun has been bought into the UK by a private individual, so we can't tell you the age of the gun. Now, I have had a quick look on the internet. Apparently, the Winchester 101 Presentation Grade was made from 1984 to 1987. How true and how accurate that is, we're not going to be able to find out, unfortunately.
Well, very long then.
No.
A few years.
No, I'm trying to find out, Paul, to see how rare a model this Presentation Grade was. Now, the Maruku Presidents that we've probably had 6 or 7 of them in the last 30 years of the shop. This presentation Winchester is one of only 3, this being the 3rd one that I've managed to pick up and have a look at. Yeah. So, one of the things I was going to show you is the fact that this one, Paul, is marked just, in fact I'll show you the top first, so it's marked as a pigeon grade.
Yep.
We will show some more markings on the gun in a minute, and you can see, I know it's upside down, but made in Japan.
There we go.
So, we've got Winchester trademark, R.
Yep.
We've got 12 gauge, 12 bore, 2 3/4 inch, and we've got New Haven Arms, Connecticut, USA. Now, when you do the research with the Browning, the Winchester and the Maruku, you will see that their history is quite combined, quite intense, to be honest with you. Browning and Winchester's history goes back to about 1870, something like that. So, what we've got, because this is a trap gun, Paul, and we've got a wide rib, and it's a particularly wide rib on this one. It's machine turned, or this is a machine instead of file cut ribs. This will be a rotating machine at an angle, which is cutting each individual piece as it goes along. Now, I have read a few descriptions on these to say that these foresight beads, the mid bead and the foresight bead, were ivory. I can't confirm or deny that. To me, they look like very, very well attempted plastic, but you're never going to know. So, with the markings on the barrels, it's a trap gun. This New Haven Arms, if you do the research, you will see that the Olin Corporation, which was the provincial owners of Winchester from about 1933, they felt that double guns, the cost effectiveness of double guns wasn't enough for them. So they sold the company, Olin Corporation sold the company to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, and they registered the trademark. So this is where we've got Winchester and then R as a trademark. Okay. What they've done is they basically sold the company as a going concern to the managing directors of the New Haven Arms Connecticut company. They sold it in 81, and I think it lasted till about 94, unfortunately. Might have been 95 before it started running into troubles. So, as I'm saying, Paul, not an expert. Let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this of this action, and it's the engraving, Paul. Now, this gun is so far up the scale compared to any other Winchester that you're going to look at, in the fact that we have got full coverage, profuse, hand-cut scroll engraving. As I've said, because we've just done a D4G video, as I've said, it's the engraving, Paul, that I'm really looking at. Now, a few of the things that I was told very, very quickly by a guy in an email. Not only have we got the markings on the top rib to say it's a pigeon grade, had it been a Grand European, we would have got a pistol grip cap. Okay. And we would have got some teardrops without this checkering in the side fillets of the gun. I am trying to talk to the guy to see whether the quality of the engraving differed between the two, but let's just focus in on the engraving, Paul, and let's try and talk about the engraving itself. So let's try and talk about the engraving itself. There is no engraving on this gun, Paul, that was acid etched, that was stamped. This is completely one-off, done by hand. Now, if we look at each individual scroll, now the reason that I'm paying more attention than I would to the engraving on this one is because forthcoming or upcoming videos you will see why. Now, I will count with my turn screw with some tape on it, I think it was, how many scrolls we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this little cheek here. And then here, Paul, we've got, and I will have to roll it to me a little bit, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there.
And another little one, I think.
Is there? 9? 8 or 9?
I'm used to looking at it on the phone. I can't even see it to eyesight. Just there.
9. This is how close we have to look, Paul, to see the differences in the engraving. We've also got this banner here, which starts as part of the engraving from this bottom right-hand side.
Yep.
And it follows all the way up over here. It's got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-ish. It follows from here right the way over and continues its scroll down here.
Yep.
Now, also with this engraving, Paul, and I will, you keep the camera there and let me try and roll to see. Can you see that the gold birds that are on the side are, what's it when they're sticking up? Proud.
Trying to get the camera to focus in on that.
You can't quite see
Not quite.
But they're proud from the action by, from here, probably a mil, okay?
See if I can come down this way.
So these, what they do with these, Paul, is they engrave out behind the back of it.
Yep.
They lay the gold in it, and then they ping the engraving over to hold the gold in place. So you may not get it, but all the way around that bird, right down its tail, right up the feathers, its feet, its wingtips. Now this is here, Paul, you come up to the top of his head. That's it, right there, right there, right there. I cannot describe to people how small that piece on the back of that pheasant's head is. Now, anybody that's ever seen a pheasant will know that that piece is there. Mm-hmm. And the guy hasn't scrimped on it. He's put it in, all right? He's also got a foot there, or foot basically. And forget the rest of the engraving, each feather has been engraved on.
Yep.
It's because we're trying to go too close, aren't we? There you go.
There we are.
So you will see that each feather, has he got his eyes on him as well?
Got his eyes, got the ring round the neck.
Yeah. Now, that, Paul, is probably no bigger than half a mil, maybe a mil. So the allotted time that this guy would have got to do this engraving, Paul, I don't know. I know that this is one of the most profusely engraved Winchesters that I've ever seen. It's not the most, but it's one of the most highly engraved Winchesters. Now, if we come out a little bit, Paul, and I will talk about the background. So where we had the D4G and what you're talking about, your depth of field, here is sky, okay? Where that blank piece is, that is sky. Then the next bit down is mountains. The next bit down is trees. Then we've got our birds. When I say trees, I mean trees in the background.
Yep.
Okay. We've got a tree here with definition on it for bark. Can you see?
Yep.
And again, Paul, that's probably no more than a mil square. No. We are talking minute detail here. You've got your leaves on your trees. Not only have you got your definition on the leaves, but your leaves are actually picked out against the background themselves.
Yep.
Also, we come down from the trees, Paul. You've got grass here.
Yep.
Grass, no, it's difficult to look at. Not this. This here is your grass.
Yep.
Yeah. Then here you've got, it's a particular, it's going to be a plant, to be honest with you, Paul, but you can see what I'm looking at, can't you? You've got rocks here. Now, if you look, you will see that the rock has been picked out, and then to get the definition on the rock, it's been undercut, which is, now let me come to it, which is this piece here, that bit. That's the undercutting, not the top, the bit where it's sideways on.
Yep.
Okay, so again, what I'm trying to do, Paul, is I'm trying to give people the opportunity to look at the guns.
Yep.
Because, as I said, these are my passion. I would have liked to have seen these sort of videos detailing the engraving. Now, you've also got the top of the barrel flats here have been engraved.
Sorry, mate. Go just below the bird. What are they meant to be? Like mushrooms or something?
No, they are going to be another type of leaf, Paul.
Okay.
Again, to give a different definition.
Yeah.
All right. So, corn is the word I was looking for. These are going to be some sort of corn or trying to emulate corn. Again, these are just trying to be... They could be mushrooms. To me, I feel they were more like leaves for definition. Yeah. All right. Now, also, one of the things, and as I say to you, Paul, it comes to me in waves. One of the things that I forgot to mention to you is the fact that we've been chased in silver here. All right. It starts here. Starts here.
Oh, yep.
If we run all the way along here, goes over the hinge. It's for the cocking dog on the inside of the action, basically. We come all the way around here, up here, up to the top of the action, and let's just show you the top of the action quickly, Paul. Again, we're going to take a little bit more time on this, and there's a lot that the videos are showing that I am not telling people. If it was my own gun, I would point things out to you, but this was loaned to me by Gary Diamond, as I keep saying, and it's very nice of him to have lent it to me. So, as with the Browning we had, Paul,
yeah,
the O, the S and the U are all picked out in gold.
Yep.
So, profusely scroll engraved around the top of the action. Silver, you've got the top of the barrel flats which are engraved, and we've got the fore-end iron that's engraved.
Yep.
Before we show the pas de resistance or something like that, get a good picture of that in your mind. Bearing in mind you can go back through the videos. Get a good picture of that in your mind, because on the opposite side to the gun is a mirror image. Okay? It's a complete mirror image of what we had on the other side. So we've got scroll in the corners, Paul.
Yeah.
We've got scroll down here in the corners. Now this scroll, which was on the D4G we had, this is my favourite scroll, because if you look in the bottom of the engraving, what we keep saying, you will see the fact that it is done by hand. You cannot hide that, you cannot emulate it. The only way it can be done is if it's done by hand. So again, Paul, I will quickly talk.
Yep.
We've got your background, you've got your mountains, you've got slight definition on your mountains, you've got your trees, you've got your tree with your definition, you've got your leaves, you've got grass, you've got more grass, corn, mushrooms or leaves. Full coverage scroll, Paul.
Yep.
Full coverage, hand done, not acid.
Even the sky itself, it does have some markings on it, hasn't it? It's not.
No,
it's not plain. It's you've got your.
Oh, those sideways, Paul.
Yeah.
Those sideways. That's where they polish the action.
Right.
All right. So to engrave this gun, what they do when the gun is what they call in the white, that means the barrels are in their raw. I'll say raw state. They're in their non-black state. The action itself will be again in its non-black state. It will be completely highly polished so it will be highly polished to a mirror finish. So the guy, like drawing on a fresh piece of paper, there'll be no markings. Yep. And these are just the polishing marks in it, Paul.
Right.
All right. It still looks nice, but that's how close you have to look. You can't just look at the gun and think you know it, because you just don't. You need to look at it again and again and again. As I keep saying, it's like a painting. And with each one of these, Paul, it is like a brush stroke.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, this is better than artwork, because at least with paint, you can draw over the top of it. With this, once you've scratched it on there, you're done.
That's it.
Now, one of the other things, Paul, is we've done some very, very close-up pictures of this, and
Yep.
we'll get to the bottom plate in a minute because that's where the part de resistance is because of the scroll. There's no markings on this gun, Paul, in any direction,
No.
anywhere, to say who engraved it.
No.
Just wasn't there. Now, we've looked here on the top of the action, we've looked underneath the top lever at the serial number, we've got a PK for Pigeon and then K for Kadesha. We've got a serial number system. Now, the serial number system that I was looking at with this gun doesn't bear any resemblance. Hopefully somebody out there can give us an idea, but we're talking sort of 84, 87, something like that. Also, what's interesting, Paul, is this serial number system has been written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one on top of the other.
Yep.
Winchester in their 6500s write it sideways, so that 3, that 5, so it would be written as a 6-digit number.
Yep.
Sideways.
So yeah, as the camera is now, you'd be able to read it.
So that's
Yep.
it, sideways. Whether that means a lot, but they're just certain things that vary between the two. So we've got, because this being a track gun, Paul, we've got, and I'm going off the engraving a little bit, we've got a white line recoil pad. Now the part de resistance, Paul, the underside of the gun. Now, again, Paul, full coverage scroll.
Yeah.
Everywhere on it. I am a particular lover of this scroll engraving, to be honest with you. This isn't English scroll by any stretch of the imagination. It's a variation on a theme. So you've got your pigeon in its little banner there.
Yeah.
You've got, now, depending what Winchester you have, Paul, some of them have got this push button style forend.
Yeah.
And some of them have just got a release catch like a Maruku. I was going to say a Browning, but not like a Browning. So this is specific to Winchester and Nikos, this little push button forend.
Yep.
Also, you will see that if you focus in on this here, Paul,
Yep.
you will see that like the Maruku President we had, this is fully engraved. Take note of the screw itself, people. Take note of the 3 screws. This one here as well, Paul.
Yep.
This one here as well. Take note of the screws, because in future videos you will see why we're taking particular note of the screws. Also, I will just take the forend off, Paul, and I will just show people underneath the forend here. So again, have a look at the screws. Winchesters suffer, not just Winchesters, Brettas suffer with it, Brownings suffer with it, Marukus. The forends get a little bit loose, Paul.
Yep.
People carry on shooting the guns with the forend loose. If your forend iron feels a little bit loose, just put a screwdriver on it and tighten it up. Don't shoot it loose. It'll break the gun. It'll break the gun. Now, because I'm going from pillar to post, Paul, just quickly I will show you this, then we'll go back to the engraving. As I said, Winchester marked to say what the chokes are on their guns.
Yep.
This being a track gun, we marked full improved cylinder 3/4. Because this was almost as high up as you could get, we got 2 markings, wording, and then we got typical Browning, Maruku, Winchester style, 1 star for full, 2 stars for 3/4, and then you've got your PW or Winchester proof steel.
Yep.
Also says it there, Winchester proof steel. Pretty well they all say that there, Paul. Pretty well they all say that. So let's go back to this gun. Can you focus in on that engraving, Paul?
Yep.
So, full coverage scroll. This is, now, again, it keeps coming to me, the blacking that's on this gun, Paul, is more like charcoal bluing.
Yep.
You may well be able to see it in the pitch, in the videos, but this action has got a slight tinge of blue to it, to the blacking itself.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't see it so much on the phone, but you might pick it up a bit more on the computer.
It definitely, and if I roll it this way, Paul, it's almost purple here in the colours.
Yeah. I think the light might be picking it up a little.
And that is because the finish that they were using, unlike the Marukus that we've been looking at, they were black chrome actions. This is a traditional charcoal bluing, or it appears to be charcoal bluing.
Yeah.
It's a different process to the Marukus. Now, as I keep saying, full coverage scroll, and I keep going back to this because this is only the third time I've managed to have a Winchester Presentation Grade in my hand, and I'm enjoying looking at it as much as everybody's enjoying watching the videos. Also, Paul, if I put my turn screw there, can you see this engraving that's engraved beside the trigger here?
Yeah.
There's very few guns that will bother. The D5G Custom we had, they've done it, but there's very few guns where they will bother to engrave here. It's more time, it's more work, and how many people would ever notice it? Well, hopefully with the videos we're teaching people, or we're showing people all the different places to look with the engraving. Also, Paul, if we look here, we've got a long trigger guard tang with one screw and a round eyelet towards the end here. Again, I'm paying particular attention to these pieces because in later videos you will see why, and you can go from one to the other. So this, Paul, is a Winchester Presentation. As we keep saying, this is almost as high, almost as far up the scale as you can get. Now, I am in a bit of a quandary because, as I keep saying, I've got 3 guns to show. I've got 2 Marukus and a Winchester. The Winchester that I've got is so unusual, it makes the 2 Marukus I've got look common, and they ain't common by any stretch of the imagination. So what I would like to see by a few people is either email us here at Countryway, or put in the comments below, and you start telling me, you the watcher, you the YouTuber, you tell me what you want to look at first. The reason that I'm trying to show you all these different guns, Paul, is I'm trying, or the people that are watching the videos, is I'm trying to show them I have looked at these guns. I've tried to do my own research. I've tried to do, bearing in mind, Paul, there is no information out there about Winchesters. There is no information out there about Marukus. There's a little bit, but the guns that I've got, I cannot even find a reference. I cannot find I can't find anything about them.
Yeah.
Partly to do with the videos is A, to show people what you can find, and B, to find more of them. But this full coverage scroll.
Yeah.
Everywhere, profusely done, and I hope if people have liked the videos so far, I hope they like this video. I hope my passion for this gun is coming out in the video.
Random question, as they put so much detail in the birds on the side, why didn't they put quite so much in the pigeon underneath? They've got a little bit on his neck.
See how quiet I'm going? I don't know the answer to that, Paul. Also, when you look in the pigeon itself, now when you look at Winchester 101 pigeon grades, it's the same bird. Now, if you look at that pigeon, and anybody that's looked at a few pigeon grades will know, I'm not 100% certain, and I have tried to look, Paul, I think that was stamped on.
Yeah.
I ain't 100% whether it was engraved or stamped.
Trying to zoom in, see if we can see any markings.
I think it was stamped. I was hoping you wasn't going to point that out. No, I'm glad you have, because I didn't know how to say it to people, because there's so much engraving to look at, Paul.
Yeah.
Most people, when I say most people, 99% of people would just assume that that was engraved.
Yeah.
I think it was stamped on, again, because even though this is a presentation grade, it's as high up as Winchester go, they still had a certain amount of time that they had to make the gun in.
Yep.
And the pigeon there, unfortunately, he copped a stamp.
when you zoomed out, it looks quite plain, but when you actually go in a little bit, he has got.
Oh, he's a pigeon?
Yeah, there is engraving round the neck and the head.
But I ain't 100% whether the feet or whether the definition around the feet, I ain't 100% whether they're stamped on or not. I think they're stamped on. But that doesn't detract from the fact that the gun is beautiful. Now, also, look at the colour of the birds. Quite American, quite deep gold colour.
Yep.
Okay? And again, the reason we're paying particular attention to this is because when we move on to other stuff, you will see what I'm getting at. Paul, I'm so pleased that we've got this gun to do. How long's the video been so far?
Probably been about half hour.
Has it?
Yeah.
Has it? And I'm glad, to be honest with you, because in that half an hour we have showed every aspect of that engraving in every different direction.
Yeah.
You can find a few references to these guns, Paul. By the pure name the gun's got on the side of it, well, it hasn't got it on it, but it's a presentation grade. People look after these guns. People don't like to sell them. So, as I keep saying, I'm showing the videos. Now, we're going to do the videos a little bit arse about face because we're not going to show this video first, Paul. We're going to show, which we haven't done the video yet, we're going to show a Maruku and a Nico first.
Yeah.
All right?
Before this one goes on.
Before this one goes on. Because I want people to see what generally you run into, not this, which is 95%. Right, Paul. I've been trying to think about it. The thing is, I'm not just showing the good stuff. I'm showing the cream, that really unusual stuff.
Yeah.
Maruku Presidents are really unusual. D5Gs are really unusual. D5G side plates are even more unusual. D4G. Not just the cream, the top old stuff.
I'm just getting that blue and purple in as well now. I've got the camera on the three scrolls on the right.
Nice.
It's got, blue and a bit of purple as you go down a bit. Yeah.
And I hope, Paul, what I'm trying to get over to people is, if I'm showing you the cream, what have I got to show you? Do you know what I mean? If I'm showing you what is top old stuff, what have I got to come? One off. Factory custom gear. One off. Right, that's a long enough video. Let's get a few likes on this one, please, people. Thank you very much. Keep watching the videos.